Hi, this is Troxel. In today's tutorial, we're going to look to see what it will take to take an event and move it to a different track. So say, for example, we have an event on track 1 that we actually want on track 2. This script will actually move it down one track, and we will see how that works. So if you had multiple events in multiple places that you wanted to move to whatever track you wanted them to move to, this script can help you lead you to be able to do that. And this one simply takes each selected event and moves it down to the next track. So let's see how that works. Here we have our standard script with all of our usings up at the top, and then our namespace and public class all the way down through myVegas equals Vegas. And then we get to the details of this particular script, which is for each track, my track in myvegas.project.tracks, because we're going to go through every track. And then if it is a video track, I'm only going to look at video events on this one. And then we're going to go backwards through the events on the track. And we have an integer, I equals mytrack.events.count minus 1. Remember, our events are 0 based. As long as I is greater than or equal to 0, then we're going to subtract 1 from I. Now remember, we're going backwards, because if we were going forward and we move an event off the track, then it's going to skip the next event. So we need to go backwards. If you need a better explanation of why, go back and see the tutorial that talks about removing events, and we actually demonstrate what happens if you don't go backwards through the list. So now we have to get the track event, which is event, from mytrack.events, and it's the ith event. Now if this event is selected, then we want to move it to the next track. So all we have to do is say event.track equals, and then the track we want to send it to. So in this case, the next track is our list of tracks, and then the track that we want is the current event.track.index plus 1. So we're moving it down one track. Then I have to do an event.selected equals false. And if I don't do this, then when it moves down to the next track to process it, it is going to try to process it again and move it down another track, and keep moving it down and keep moving it down and keep moving it down until it crashes, because there's no more video tracks for it to move it to. And in this case, we are not checking to see if there's any video tracks to move it to, and so therefore it would crash. And then we finish with all of our closing brackets, and then our public class entry point, then our from Vegas routine, which calls this routine up above. I don't often show this part, so I thought I would go ahead and show it again in case somebody needs to see this part again. And once again, if you can go back and look at some of the older tutorials, especially the first couple of tutorials, it has this in it. Plus there's another more recent tutorial that talks about what do you need besides what I'm showing right here on this screen. So now let's see how this works. So I have a project here. I happen to have 6 items on the timeline. 3 of them are selected. So this one here on the first track that's selected will be moved to the second track. The 2 on the second track that are selected will be moved to the third track. And let's test this out. And so there we have it. This one has been moved down to the second track and deselected. These 2 have been moved to the third track and also deselected. And so that is how they can be moved from one track to another. So this shows an easy way to move an event from one track to another track. And in fact, you could actually move it to a different start time if you wanted to change the event.start as well. In this particular case, we just wanted to move them straight down, so all we had to do was change the track. If we needed to change the start time, that's easy to do as well. So I hope you find this tutorial useful. If you have an idea for a new tutorial, let me know what it is. Like, subscribe, and leave me some comments, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Please sign up at www.jettv.com and subscribe on YouTube to get further notifications on when new videos are presented.